Is vegan meat more efficient than animal meat?
What constitutes a piece of meat in terms of composition? And then where's the animal getting that from, and where else can you get it from?
And what we were optimizing for was the one that performed best in food.
For thousands of years, humans have made meat from animals. It didn't seem possible that meat could come from anything but an animal. But now, on many restaurant menus and supermarket shelves, you can find bleeding plant-based burgers, chicken-free nuggets, and meatless sausages.
It looks like scrumptious chicken and tastes like scrumptious chicken, but it's not chicken. It's made of plants.
The meat industry is innovating and evolving, just like humans. Beef-based quarter pounders have turned into pea protein patties. The latest burgers offer consumers so much more than their predecessor. They're better for your health, they're better for the planet, and they're better for the animals. Still, animal meat is prevalent, but this too could soon change. Vegan meat uses less water, less land, and it saves millions of lives, from bees to fish to humans. Unlike beef, vegan meat is healthier for your body, and it isn't destroying the rainforest and the oceans either. Here are 5 reasons why vegan meat is more efficient than animal meat. Number 1. It uses fewer resources. Animal agriculture uses significant amounts of land, water, and energy. In comparison, growing crops for vegan food is much more efficient. Unlike traditional burgers, which are often made with beef, vegan burgers are made with ingredients like peas or soy. Producing even the lowest impact beef requires 36 times more land than peas. Soy gets a bad reputation for its environmental impact. The industry is causing widespread deforestation, but the vast majority, some 70% of all soy, is grown to feed livestock, contributing to the sector's land and resource use. If everyone on the planet, some 7 billion people, went vegan, global farmland use would drop by 75%. This decline would free up landmass the size of Australia, China, the EU, and the US combined. We could grow more and healthier food for more people. Rearing animals for meat contributes to desertification. This is the loss of biological productivity in dry lands. Overgrazing is one cause. Too many animals in one area can make it difficult for plants to grow back. Deforestation is another. Sometimes whole areas of forest are burnt down to make room for livestock.
Forest fires are set on purpose. After loggers are done chopping down trees and harvesting the lumber, the remaining vegetation is usually burned. This is done by people hoping to make a profit off the land by selling it to farmers and ranchers.
With deforestation comes the loss of biodiversity. Forests are home to around 60% of the world's plant and animal species. If animal agriculture keeps expanding, it will have devastating consequences for wildlife. The recent fires in the Amazon were linked to cattle ranchers clearing land for their herds.
This is part of a trend, this increasing forest loss. Now we have a new government in there that is overtly pro expansion and use of the Amazon forest for development.
The rainforest is home to the largest collection of living plant and animal species. 1 in 10 known animal species live in the Amazon rainforest, including roughly 2.5 million insect species, tens of thousands of plants, and approximately 2,000 birds and mammals. Many of these species are endangered. Vegan farming, on the other hand, uses far less land, and in many cases, it actually benefits the land. Beans, peas, and oats, which are often used to make different vegan meats, milk, and cheese products, are good for the soil. Field peas and fava beans, for example, are nitrogen-fixing legume plants, which help to fertilize the soil. Oats provide soil erosion control, and when planted alongside legumes, they can improve their productivity. Oats also have a zero water footprint. A meat-based diet not only requires more land, but it also uses more water. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition stated that a meat-based diet requires 14 times more water than a vegetarian one. A report published by the Institution of Mechanical Engineers stated that more than 15,000 liters of water are required to produce 1 kilogram of beef. It takes more than 10,000 liters to produce 1 kilogram of mutton, and more than 5,000 to produce pork. This is notable given the water shortages occurring around the world. Experts told The Guardian last year that England could run out of water within 25 years if we don't act soon to preserve it. The water requirements of plant-based food are generally much lower. To produce 1 kilogram of potatoes, just 287 liters of water are used. Banana, cabbage, and tomato require 790, 237, and 214 liters respectively.
The statistic that really comes to mind for me is this 80% of agricultural land in the United States being devoted either through grazing or through growing feed to feeding animals that are then slaughtered and converted into meat.
Growing crops for vegan food cuts out a very resource-intensive step, raising livestock. Instead of growing crops to feed animals, we can now transform those crops straight into meaty vegan products that contain the same amount of protein as animal meat.
If you could snap your fingers and just vaporize that industry, which I would do in a heartbeat if I could, the recovery of plant biomass on that land would actually start to lower atmospheric CO2 concentrations, something people don't even contemplate as a possibility.
Number 2. It produces fewer greenhouse gas emissions. When speaking about climate change and emissions, most people are quick to point the finger at transportation. We shun celebrities who fly too often, praise electric cars, and applaud those who choose to cycle or walk. But livestock has an even larger impact on the environment than the transportation sector. According to the United Nations Environment Program, the greenhouse gas footprint of animal agriculture rivals that of every car, truck, bus, ship, airplane, and rocket ship combined. To produce half a pound of beef, the emissions output is equivalent to driving a car 9.8 miles. To produce a half a pound of potatoes, the emissions equate to driving the same car 0.17 miles. Beef production is to blame for 6 times more greenhouse gas emissions than peas, a primary ingredient in vegan meat products like the Beyond Burger. On average, a cow releases between 70 and 120 kilograms of methane a year.
A cow can basically fill up a 55-gallon garbage bag full of methane every day. One cow's not a problem, but now we have 1.5 billion of them. And it's an incredibly inefficient way of producing food.
They're responsible for nearly 1/10 of all human-related emissions. Some of that's from dairy cows, but most of it comes from cows raised for their beef.
Methane's global warming potential is 23 times that of CO2. Lamb also has a high carbon footprint. Some believe it's even higher than beef. According to the Environmental Working Group, this is because lambs produce less edible meat than cows. In 2018, the World Wildlife Fund stated that lamb caul, a Welsh stew, had one of the worst carbon footprints of all of the UK's most popular meals. Just one bowl of lamb caul produces 5.9 kilos of CO2 emissions. This is the same as boiling a kettle 258 times, or driving 31 miles in a car. Seafood also produces greenhouse gases. The carbon footprint of shellfish and crustaceans are particularly high. For every kilogram of shrimp produced on land converted from mangrove forest, 1,600 kilograms of greenhouse gases are emitted. According to Forest News, mangrove forests are critical for carbon storage. In some cases, mangrove ecosystems can store up to 98% of carbon stocks underground. When these mangroves are cut down for shrimp ponds in the tropics, all of that carbon is released into the atmosphere. Many brands are making vegan seafood with plant-based ingredients. Good Catch uses a 6-legume blend to make its vegan tuna. Number 3. It costs fewer animal lives. Every year, 200 million land animals are killed for food. This amounts to around 72 billion every year. That's not even counting fish and other seafood. Animal agriculture is causing other animals to lose their lives too, when land is cleared to make room for animals raised for human consumption. In the fishing industry, billions of marine animals, including endangered fish, whales, sea turtles, dolphins, and seals, are caught and killed unintentionally. These animals are known as bycatch, and it's estimated they make up 40% of the world's total catch, equating to 63 billion pounds a year. But it goes even further. Greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, emitted by industries including animal agriculture, trap heat. Rising temperatures are making it difficult for even more species to survive. We could be in the middle of the 6th mass extinction in the Earth's history, and according to some experts, we already are. In the last 450 million years, there have been 5 mass extinctions. Each of those were caused by natural disasters, but this one is man-made. A study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences refers to a biological annihilation. As species go extinct, the impact on the planet is disastrous. Mass coral die-offs, for example, are catastrophic for underwater life. The tropical fish that rely on them for survival will also die out, and the entire ecosystem crashes. A number of insect species are also at risk, including pollinators like bees. Bees are one of the most important species on the planet, and they are integral to human survival as well.
And bees globally are the most important pollinator. All of our favorite fruits require pollination: apples, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. So there's a global concern that pollinators are in decline. And especially some of our most efficient pollinators like bumblebees, many of them are in decline.
Pesticides, habitat loss, disease, and climate change are leading causes of their declining population.
Climate change is altering plant phenology, and if it's altering bee phenology at different rates, we could have a situation where plants are available, but bees are not active.
Number 4. It costs fewer human lives. Vegan meat isn't just better for the animals and the environment, it's better for human health as well. Meat consumption, particularly red and processed meat, is linked to a higher risk of a number of diseases, including heart disease. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the US. In 2016, it was responsible for more than 840,000 deaths. According to the American College of Cardiology, from 2006 to 2016, death rates from cardiovascular disease increased 18.6%. Studies have shown that a plant-based diet can improve heart health. A 2018 American Heart Association study found that cutting out animal products lowers the risk of heart disease more than the AHA recommended diet. The 8-week-long study analyzed 100 participants. They followed either a plant-based diet or the AHA recommended diet, which includes lean meat, fish, and low-fat dairy. The plant-based group saw the biggest reduction in inflammation, which is associated with an increased risk of heart disease. According to another AHA study, a plant-based diet may lower the risk of death from a heart attack by 19%. The study analyzed 4 dietary patterns in middle-aged American adults who were followed up with from 1987 to 2016. Those who ate more healthy plant foods received higher scores for reduced risk. Conversely, those who ate the most animal foods received lower scores. A plant-based diet could also reduce the risk of cancer. One 2018 study analyzed the data of more than 120,000 people collected over the course of 26 years. It found that those who ate the most inflammatory foods, such as processed and red meats, were 37% more likely to develop colon cancer. They were also 70% more likely to develop rectal cancer. Some researchers have suggested that placing a tax on red and processed meat could save thousands of lives. A 2018 study revealed that 6,000 UK deaths a year could be prevented with such a tax. Cancer Research UK agrees that lives could be saved if meat consumption dropped. It announced in 2018 that there could be up to 8,800 fewer cancer cases if everyone in Britain stopped eating red and processed meat. Number 5. It costs less money. Shifting away from meat or even taxing it could also save consumers and governments money. A meat tax could reduce healthcare costs by £30.7 billion, according to one 2018 PLOS ONE study. Lead researcher Dr. Marco Springman said in a statement, "The consumption of red and processed meat exceeds recommended levels in most high and middle income countries. This is having significant impacts not only on personal health, but also on healthcare systems, which are taxpayer-funded in many countries." He added that the UK's economy would also perform better, as it is currently losing its labour force due to ill health and care for family members who fall ill. In 2019, British consumers saved £6.7 billion by eating inexpensive plant-based foods instead of animal products. Researchers estimate that more than 12 million meat eaters consumed less pork, beef, lamb, and chicken in 2019 compared to previous years. That shift saved them around £550 each. The research was commissioned by the popular British vegetarian meat brand Linda McCartney's and surveyed 2,000 adult consumers. It revealed that for 28% of participants, saving money is a big motivator. 51% believe that meat is too expensive, and 44% think that a meat-free lifestyle is more affordable than ever. As demand rises, it's also going to get cheaper to produce and buy vegan food. Liz Specht, PhD, a senior scientist at the Good Food Institute, believes price parity with vegan meat and its animal-based counterpart is just around the corner. She explained, industrial animal agriculture has been operating and optimizing at a global scale for decades, yet it is still inherently more efficient to make meat directly from plants, rather than feeding our crops to animals than eating a part of the animal. It's all but inevitable that the plant-based meat industry will eventually be cost competitive with conventional meat. When vegan meat brands have a bigger share of the overall meat market, production methods will evolve, explains Specht, increasing efficiency and inevitably reducing cost. Why do you eat vegan food? Do you agree that vegan meat is more efficient than animal meat? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. New videos every Tuesday and Friday.